elevation. Big blunts, dope boys wanna smoke with me. Now we ride double M's through the whole city. Niggas talking down, but they always feel me. A 9-figure nigga, all I wanna talk is business. I seen a big mouth get a closed casket. Self-made, took over the whole racket. A kilo after kilo, see who moved the most. 200-foot yacht, she wanna see the coast.
What's going on, YouTube? Long time no see. Dropping in to do a stock analysis on a very special stock. All right. This is a stock that is in my portfolio. This is one of my personal stock picks. I'll pull it up real quick. Ibrx is the ticker. And as you can see, I own 6,000 shares. Cost basis $2.29. And I also hold call option positions of 40 contracts here. All right. So I purchased and built this position actually around December 15th ish. So about a month ago, I built this position with this cost basis right here. Yes, this is the first time I'm mentioning this actual equity on YouTube. This is a hot stock pick that, my personal hot stock pick that was actually announced on my Patreon. This was a way for me to reward Patreon members and so forth to deliver value to them. All right. And later on, after the run starts, I'll put it on YouTube. All right. So there that is. So let's talk about this. All right. How did it make it into my portfolio? All right. Well, one of my captains in my Patreon group brought this stock up to me, and as I was doing the analysis, I just knew I had to have a position. So without further ado, let's get into it. Immunity Bio, ticker IBRX, trades on the NASDAQ currently for $5.52. The last trading day was up 39.75%. In the after hours, it's up 9.43%. Market cap is 5.44 billion. And what is it? And what is the company? Where is the company? And what do they do? All right. So this is a biotech company, and this is my healthcare play. Healthcare has been a sector that's been in a depressive bear market for a while. So I was attracted to looking into that field during that actual bear market. And, biotech companies, this is the way I feel about the sector, or I assess the sector. It's like finding, it's not a needle in a haystack. It's like more like a needle in a stack of needles. Okay. There's a dime a dozen of them. A lot of them don't succeed and so forth. They're very high R&D, heavy, expense heavy, and so forth. This company develops treatments and researches for the cure to cancer. Yes, in order for me to make an exception and allow it into this portfolio, there's got to be something very special about the company. All right. And we're going to get more into that. They're headquartered in San Diego, California. All right. 673 employees. This is a biotechnology company. And we're going to start with a little sniff check on the valuation, all right, on their actual cash balance sheet. So 861.29 million in debt, 257.81 million in cash. That's pretty bad. So typically, if I'm doing stock analysis and I look at these type of balance sheets that are over levered, typically I stay away and I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole or whatever. But this company has an actual exception. This is an exception to the rule, to my standards, which we'll get more into in a bit. So 10K analysis. All right. About 500 million of this debt that we just talked about, 500 million of the 861.29 million of that debt is actually in convertible notes that are owned by the founder and CEO, Dr. Shang. All right. He is the CEO and founder of this company, and he was not receiving enough liquidity and capital from investment markets. So he had to put up his own capital and put up $500 million of his own money to keep this actual company alive. All right. So there's that to consider. That's part of the story. Everything with the 10K checks out as far as auditing and so forth. There are several derivatives, warrants, and convertible notes and derivatives all over the place in this equity, which we'll talk about and so forth. But all in all, 10K checks out. All right. Going back to it. All right. Portfolio performance. All right. Since, haven't really covered that in a while on the YouTube channel. On the 1 year, we pretty much grasped a little a chunk of growth here. A year ago, this portfolio had 122 and a half thousand worth. Now it's 284,000. All right. I did the math. And in 1 year, the portfolio grew $161,800 ish. Okay. So exceptional investor performance. Okay. Um, so I mean, that's something to consider. Hey, it's a testament. All right. So going back to the actual slide deck and what the investment proposition is and what makes this special. All right. What makes this a special company? All right. Something that they are doing treatments for several cancers. All right. And they're expanding in all the cancer categories: bladder, lung cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer. Okay. And it's just going to continue and continue on. All right. They have one drug that was approved and out there. They're all going to be called Anktiva, but they're all going to have different serials for different actual types of cancer. But bladder cancer is the one that they've already launched. So this is a post-sales company with a growth trajectory on its way, with a deep pipeline of different drugs going through clinicals and so forth. All right. One thing that is another thing that's special about this company is actually coming up with a cancer vaccine for colon cancer. All right. Now there are a lot of problems with infrastructure as far as the FDA and how the system is formed with cancer. Right now, big pharmaceutical companies, they've pretty much just monetized the treatment of cancer, and it's been lackluster. There hasn't been good results as far as R&D and so forth. I'll admit, yes, there has been more of an increase of survival rate, but to ratio of how much money has been invested into actual cancer research and development, the juice wasn't really worth the squeeze as far as the effectiveness goes of the longevity or fidelity of these actual treatments and the effectiveness thereof. All right. Um, so there's that to consider. This company is going to be pivotal in terms of disrupting the whole big pharma and FDA and just the way cancer is going to be treated. The way I look at diseases, and I'm not a biologist, scientist, or whatever, but as an investor, the way I view diseases is with technology, eventually these diseases will be a thing of the past. Once upon a time ago in the world, leprosy used to be an issue. All right. Now there's modern medicine and leprosy is not really an issue. Sure, in little parts of the world, third world countries where modern medicine and proper facilities are not present, they might have little issues. But all in all, throughout the world, leprosy is not really a thing. All right. In the 80s and 90s, AIDS was a big deal. It was a big thing to where everybody was dying of AIDS. All right. Now in 2026, with treatment, people can live a life of, a quality of life with longevity and just live with AIDS due to modern medicine. Charlie Sheen and I guess Shaquille O'Neal or whatever. Okay. So if this company doesn't cure cancer, we can make it. I believe that we can make it to where it won't affect quality of life, and tumors will just reduce year over year and so forth within the body. All right. The idea and thesis of this company is that the actual treatment to cancer, chemo, which destroys all the cells, is also destroying the actual cell that is the cure to cancer. This actual Anktiva drug right now is paired with the chemotherapy, but there are two different special cells in the body that are instrumental to allowing the actual defense T cells to identify the bad cells and start killing the cancer. And that's where this drug Anktiva comes into play. All right. So there that is. Okay. This is Dr. Shun right here in the actual. He's the executive chairman and and so forth. He's not the actual CEO, but he's the big dog. He's the reason why this company is running. All right. And he's actually the founder vision of this actual quest to cure cancer. His story alone is pretty amazing. All right. He's a billionaire. Um, and with that, he used to do organ transplants and he used to treat cancer and so forth. And he questioned the whole system, and he questioned the actual ability to cure cancer, possibility, and so forth. So that's what this company is about. All right. Let's take a look at some financial growth rates and so forth. All right. Company has got great growth coming up, deep pipeline. We're set to, by 2030, this company, analyst consensus estimates got them doing 3.27 billion. On a rating perspective, the Wall Street has the stock going to $24 as a high. I agree with the street. I think this year this stock goes to at least $20. All right. I don't. I kind of disagree with the average consensus estimates on buy targets of $10. I think we're going higher. All right. And this, what I assess with this stock is it's probably just going to keep running up over the next couple months. All right. So let's talk about risks that I see in this company. Um, Balance sheet health. Debt is going up, or debt is going up faster than cash and cash equivalents. This company still has a lot of cash burn rate. So, and there's a bunch of convertibles and so forth. There's also a debt maturity wall of 200 million in September and so forth. Stock price action has been lame. All right. We got in right here. Let me get this here. So we got in right around here, or I got in right around here, and the stock started to run, which I'm not surprised. All right. I knew this equity was going to run in 2026. All right. And that's why I positioned at the end of year of 2025. All right. If you're getting value out of the video, like and subscribe. All right. Comment down below. Just say I'm subscribed. I will respond to you and so forth. I'm very interactive with subscribers. All right. Check out my Patreon. All right. Get access to the deep dive collection, and I'm always on there posting the latest and greatest, to get access to exclusive content, a community of like-minded investors. We're all sold out. So unfortunately you can't join. All right. So I have decided that I'm not going to be taking new members at this time. But Goofy, why are you even saying this? Well, I'm still going to promote it. I got to create value towards the actual brand and so forth. All right. When will I decide to open up more membership seats? I don't know, guys. It could be weeks, several weeks, months, several months. I'm not sure. All right. But it's going to be closed for a while. All right. So going back to it, going back to Immunity Bio, the leverage balance sheet, due to the leverage balance sheet, convertibles, and so forth, and cash burn, it makes the investment very risky. So I opted to do a hybrid structure position that's consisted of organic shares and an actual derivative. So if there's so many derivatives in the equity, all right, I have to do a reverse derivative to counteract that. So that way I can limit downside and maximize upside participation. All right. Due to the riskiness of the stock, all right, I think it's appropriate to take chips off the table, my personal opinion, and what I'm doing for myself. That's why I had this 40 call contract position, which I spent $3,626 on. It's worth over 14 grand now, and that'll just continue to go up. But there will be a point where I will sell the contracts or sell the calls, and I will go long the 6,000 share position. That's enough for me to participate long term. All right. So that's more of an advanced play. If I'm going to see bad stuff on the balance sheet with a bunch of convertibles and derivatives of warrants and so forth, there's got to be a reason to where I've overlooked that, because typically, normally, I don't invest if there's a lot of that stuff going on. Well, I'll tell you what, the cancer vaccine. All right, this cancer vaccine, I've pretty much their story valuation. You see, okay, let's take it a step further. All right. These are the numbers you see on the balance sheet. This is the tangible quant, what's available and presented to you. But there's intangible numbers and an intangible valuation of what you don't see and what you got to price. The story valuation, their tech and IP, the actual vaccine alone, the cancer vaccine to colon cancer alone, I believe I got a valuation on that vaccine for their IP and tech of about 40 to 50 billion dollars alone. So, and that's not including the story valuation of everything else. So, with that, I've decided to override the tangible quant of what you see in front of you on the balance sheet. I'm overriding the tangible bad quant with the intangible quant, and I'm balancing the scales by using derivatives. Okay. So, with the riskiness of the stock, my thought process is I'm going to buy enough and I'm going to structure the investment where I can participate. All right. But it's not going to be, I'm not going to invest too much to the point to where I get hurt, but I'm going to invest enough to where it's going to be meaningful as far as the return, all right, and my ability to participate as a shareholder, all right. And that's how I structured it. That's why I got call options and an organic position. Okay. So that's pretty advanced stuff. I teach that stuff on my Patreon and so forth. You can still subscribe as a free member on there, and monitor to see if anybody leaves, and maybe a slot will open up. I got high retention rate on there. That Patreon's got high satisfaction peak right now. All right. So that's what I got for this video. I think I almost forgot price action. Yeah, once again, couple months. I think we're going to continue to just go up and up from here. The run is started and the run is going to continue. I'm not going to be surprised if we run into double digits here in the next month or so, month or two, and so forth. And the actual balance sheet, those derivatives of those convertibles, I expect the convertibles to be exercised, and I expect a share issuance to happen when stock is going, up in the high teens. Okay. So me personally, if it wasn't a good investment, it wouldn't have made it in my portfolio. This is just my opinion and what I'm doing. All right. That's what I got for the video, guys. I appreciate all y'all support, and interest in my channel. And with that being said, I love y'all and take it easy.